Alright, hope everybody's doing well. There's a video response request going out there for the quote hobby president, John Mangini. I don't know how many people recognize him as a hobby president because only one part of YouTube is basically focusing on it. There's other people that basically say I'm bigger than all these little contests and other things, and I mean they have giveaways and stuff, but some of the bigger channels just disavow everything that the smaller channels do. And the question was, what would you do to change or add or what you would do for if you were hobby president, or how would you would make the community better, or what would you like to see? And I really don't have a good answer for that, because I would never want to be hobby president because I don't know how to basically make everybody happy, and that's not what's going to happen, because people want to see, $1 million baseball cards. They want to hear stories about, people finding, a $5 pack and getting a 5,000 card out of it. People want to see, the card shows and the flipping deals and stuff like that. They also want to see, modern baseball cards. And then other people say, yes, I know the vintage cards have to be there for some sort of reason. But if we didn't have all this controversy in the YouTube community, it would just be like stamp collecting. Everybody goes about their business and buys the stamps they need, pays whatever, and sometimes they get really good deals and make lots of money, but no one ever talks about it ever. I know you go to eBay and there's the postage stamps that are a penny, worth barely even a penny, just kind of what I just throw away, and then people are asking $5,000 to $15,000 for that, saying George Washington is facing left, or Jefferson is facing right, or green version sort of thing, or mint condition and then it has a ripped corner, all kinds of crazy things. And people are asking me, why are these stamps these particular prices? It's because people found the way to basically Jose Uribe, the most worthless postage stamps on the planet. There's hundreds of billions, trillions, quadrillions of stamps out there that will never be ever see the light of day, because there are stamp collectors. There was one guy that at the show had something like $6,000 in postage, and most of those were anywhere between a penny and 50 cents worth of postage there. It was crazy. So he had tens of thousands of stamps just at one show that he brought for him, and then people probably only bought like a couple $100 worth of postage from him. Maybe more than that, but still, it was just like, wow, what the heck. But you see, I can never be hobby president because I have too many irons in the fire. I used to follow the Dollar Tree DVD crowd. I follow the vinyl record crowd. I try to, there's not a license plate collecting group, the ALPCA or whatever, or I can't remember, the American License Plate Collectors Association of America or something like that. They don't really have a great connection of people on YouTube just as yet. And then there's people that are traffic signal collectors, street sign collectors, and many of those don't have like a cohesive group. But I follow all those people as much as I can. And then again, DVD, VCR collectors, that sort of thing, VCR tapes, and toys, Hot Wheels, all that stuff in between. And a lot of the people that I follow, whether it's Random Rips, who just had his 58th birthday, Kevin, happy birthday, Kevin, and then there's all kinds of other people, WVogs18, some of those guys, they do everything. They collect comic books, Paul and the 619, these are people that maybe are not follow because they do modern baseball cards. They open packs, so they're looking for Wemby cards. Not everybody's looking for Wemby, but if you shut out those people looking for Wemby cards, I'm a Dodgers fan, but rarely do I ever talk about it because it's not something that's really big on the forefront. Yes, I do enjoy the Dodgers and all that fun stuff there, but again, it's not something I want to super collect Dodgers. I can't have a whole room of Dodgers stuff. I don't even have a Dodgers PC or a binder. I just cast them off the side and say, one of these days I'll do a binder. But then what's going to happen is, like with the Blazers collection I used to have, it's kind of all over the place anymore. But I had a Blazers binder with all the Blazer cards, and then I'd have a Dodgers binder and a Mariners binder, which I do have. And then I start second guessing all the cards. This guy used to be a Mariner, was a Mariner, he's not on a Mariner uniform. Do I put those in the binder? And then you start saving every single card. And that's not my whole goal and life's ambition. I will say that on COMC, which I like to promote quite a bit. A lot of people hate COMC, and I understand that. And a lot of people love COMC. I'm the mindset that I don't have a local card shop. I mean, I have 3 of them technically. One of them was basically eBay price and not very much of a discount. They just seem to be kind of they're just it's kind of an old-fashioned shop, you know what I mean? There's no reason to shop there. And then I mean, it's a newer shop, so it's, you know, but they're older collectors. They're, you know, somewhere between mine and John's age, John Mangini, the hobby president. And then there's 2 other LCSs. One is way stuck in the dark ages, and the other one is more focused on selling stuff on the internet because they've been broken into a lot of times, so they don't have a lot of stuff. They also don't have a lot of staff that's very interested in getting, you know, everything out to the collectors, because if they have a big fantastic collection, somebody's going to break in and steal all their stuff, and it's happened numerous times there. The third LCS that I have is, like I said, very old-fashioned. They're also a coin shop. The owner is like in his 80s now, so who knows how long that will last. You know, they had to recently move their shop, and they had picked a really nice shop, and the mall that they were in basically was being kind of half demolished and remodeled. They ripped out the escalator. It was a really nice place, an easy place for me to get to. The other one is okay, but I had to backtrack and go this way and that way, and it's all right. And I found out that you don't have to pay every place in that spot. You have to pay for parking except for one spot, theirs. So that's really cool, and I'll get to them one of these days. And they have lots of bargain junk wax type stuff there, but I just don't need stuff like that. You know, I'm looking for kind of vintage type cards, and they do have that, but you kind of have to ask and say, hey, do you have any 62s and in the back? And I like to know what I'm buying. You know, I like to know what the price is. So that's why I go to COMC or eBay. I see a card for $1, and I said, okay, I can either choose to buy that card for $1 or ignore that card for $1. But again, I can't really think of anything to really improve, because I know that there's people who want to see more content, but there are going to be other people that's like, hey, why didn't you show this? How come you haven't upgraded your camera? Why do you not use a tripod and that sort of thing? I mean, I'm watching people that are moving their tripods in their videos. Very nice people, mind you, but you know, the setting is just perfect, and they don't feel like it's perfect, so they drag their tripod across the screen, and it's like all of a sudden earthquake. None of us are professional filmers other than Troy Rudder, who needs more views and subscribers. Not everybody has the time, like John Mangini, to provide 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 or 5 videos per day. Some people can do 1 video per day. Some people do 1 video per month, if that. And a lot of my hobby friends have disappeared because they found that it was not in their best interest to give all of their secret information to all these people that did not know how to handle it. If Gene Wilder started signing, everybody started blasting Gene Wilder, and then all heck broke loose. If these people are going to put a lot of effort into content and that thing, you know, some people found out they were just buying stuff to show people, and then they would put it back in the box, set it aside, and that was $20 they would never get back. And everything that I buy is for me to show off, but for me to enjoy, like this Jim Buckner in the background. I was able to get something like this Jim Buckner 80 or 81 TCMA card for 75 cents on eBay, free shipping, and I was really tickled to get that. This is Bill Buckner's, I think it was either older or younger brother, I cannot remember which, spitting image of Bill, but anyway, and it was just sitting there for the taking, and I took it. But again, these are kind of cards that are never going to do anything for anybody because they cannot be really easily slabbed, because, you know, it's not a perfect 10. They're not going to have any kind of, you know, sort of anything. I just watched a video that said we spent, you know, half an hour and $25,000 on cards. That's all good and well, but again, I'm not a rich business owner, so I don't basically say $25,000 would turn me into dust. You know, let's put it that way. It would just not be a good day at the office. And everything that I buy for my collection is a loss on my part. So recently I had gone to the Union Gospel Mission thrift store and picked out some DVDs, and I had no idea what they were going to cost. Zero. Because it was $1 per disc. Some of them were sealed, some of them were this, and this, and this thing. And like I said, said, I got, you know, 8th season of Dallas, you know, and so they had to kind of figure out approximately how many discs were in there. Some of these were flipper discs, you know, really annoying flipper discs, so they're both sides. So again, it was really hard to figure out what was on there. I spent a whopping $33. And then when I went to eBay, if I sold my Dallas DVDs, because I only got up to season 9, and then I got a season of Doctor Who, the complete 5th series. In fact, I duplicated on some of those because some of the Dollar Tree ones, they were not from Dollar Tree, but Doctor Who likes to do them in little pieces and increments or by the whole season. And so you end up duplicating a lot of stuff, but you see they have different versions on the disc, different cover art, and that sort of thing. What do you collect? You keep all the extras, the duplicates, because a lot of us DVD collectors are paranoid that some of our discs are going to go bad. And I bought the entire season set of Facts of Life. It was really dirt cheap, and then all of a sudden it zoomed up in price, but then it got to some average point which I could afford, and I saved up my money for that, and some random 5th season disc was bad. And I cannot get that disc, and that was one of the episodes that I had really wanted. I had waited for that episode, and it was a bad disc, and I was so disgusted. No amount of cleaning or anything could fix that disc, and I can't get that. And I don't want to buy a whole new set for that because I might end up with that same disc being bad. That could be why that set was dirt cheap. So I could theoretically go and look for a single set season, but when I did that, again, some of the covers were different, some of the fronts of the DVDs are different, and then they had flipper discs and that sort of thing. Very annoying and disturbing. But for Black Friday, because I had several bills which were unexpected, I had a $200, battery replacement and several other, property taxes and things like that. It really took my COMC Black Friday to nil. But I do like to use that as a way to just say, okay, I'm going to focus on this and cut back some of the other random purchases. I had to buy postage stamps recently, and finding out that every little package I want to mail out is $6 to $10, and this is not great. And then I got $40 worth of shipping for Christmas presents, maybe a little bit of birthday presents squeezed in there. And if I spent, I would feel, guilty or sinful spending $100 on COMC's Black Friday. But that would be the time to get player runs and get vintage baseball cards for autograph requests. Here's Bob Dullaba. I'm not sure what that's doing or sitting out here, but again, one of the things that I like to do on this channel is through the mail autographs, and the problem that I've had with that recently is that not because people have passed on or anything, but everybody was in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and people not necessarily in the direct affected areas, but a lot of people living in those states had family that were in the affected areas. And so I basically cut back all my autograph requests, and I have been seeing people not signing within a couple of months, maybe because they're in a world of hurt right now. We don't know. There's not like a definitive list of all the baseball players that lost their, homes or their livelihoods to fire and floods or tornadoes. We have no absolute earthly clue. And of course, the East Coast is on fire a little bit too. So people are all nervous about all of these, events here. So my TTMs through the mail autographs have dropped off of a cliff. And for us autographer collectors, very few of us, if any of us, are in the baseball card collectors Hall of Fame or whatever they want to call it. I know we have the Baseball Card Hall of Fame, but the Hall of Fame, and then again, a lot of the earlier Hall of Fame inductees were active for a while. They got in the Hall of Fame, and once they got in the Hall of Fame, they dropped off the face of YouTube and said no more. And that's really not how it should be. You should really only be in the Hall of Fame if you stay productive. There's got to be some sort of, committee to saying, okay, this guy dropped off. The reason why you're in the Hall of Fame is because you did good stuff, and the reason why you're in the Hall of Fame is because you still do good stuff. Obviously, if you since passed away, there should be a stipulation that you will forever be in the Hall of Fame. And we get on all these crazy Hall of Fame discussions about Pete Rose and all this stuff here, all the steroid juicers and stuff like that. But if you went to the actual Hall of Fame, they have memorabilia relating to darn near every one of those people that are in there. So they're technically in the Hall of Fame. They just don't have a Hall of Fame plaque. I said Hall of Flame. That's a thing from King of the Hill, where Hank Hill was trying to get inducted into the Hall of Flame. For the propane and propane accessories, I'll tell you what. But again, there's not really any good, way for me to kind of focus in on things, because then you got the people that like to contribute to controversy, backlash people like Sports Card Radio. People talk about politics in their videos. People like to talk about using f-bombs and calling out people and trying to already sully their reputation if it already hasn't. Again, this whole thing during the card boom is, how did people get to the card boom, and how do they get rich doing it when other people didn't? And they're trying to figure out how people got tricked and hoodwinked, and then all the videos saying that this guy bought a card for $50,000 and now it's barely selling for $5 anymore. The whole Wander Franco thing. I mean, I guess we can have to kind of assign these guys to the garbage pail. I mean, and then we just had videos about lost cards to history, but people are saying, oh, Topps has stole those cards, and maybe they were never produced, or some kid probably got them back in the day, didn't know what he had and threw it away, and sort of thing. All this conjecture. There's lots of conjectures and speculation videos, and I'm not really good at that. I can't tell you to invest in Jim Buckner on the Bisons, because that's a limited quantity. How many of those cards are out there? We cannot ever know, because TCMA basically had a run of this amount of cards. Some of these went to the teams, some of them went to the public to be sold, and people just didn't care after time, because the corners got damaged, the red rubbed off, and bye-bye cards. And they got distributed by Sears and Roebuck in their junk packs, and that was that. And again, I have too many irons in the fire, vinyl records, and the vinyl records I share with people get zero traction, because I'm not technically an accepted member of the vinyl community, because I don't participate in these other videos and other social medias. And YouTube is just not YouTube alone. It's, Instagram and Facebook and X and all these different platforms. I can't think of the other not Vine. What's the other one? There's many other platforms out there that are just taking over the world, and people have gotten following from both, my buddy Weird Paul, and I say buddy, but, we've conversed back and forth on YouTube, and I've gifted him a few packages over the years, and he's on all these different, Twitch streams and all these different things, and that's how he gets some of his following, because people follow from other people buy, viewers, however that's done, and stuff like that. That's just not really what I wanted to be. I've been on YouTube for at least 12 years, and just cracked the 800 mark. People like, what are you doing wrong? There's got to be something. Are you not participating? And I'm making videos every other day or every single day. I used to make 2 and 3 videos per day. That's when I got tons of mail-in. Yesterday, I got one little postcard for some sort of little change on my bank statement. It says, oh, you've changed a little thing here. Here's a little piece of paper saying that call this number if you were not okay with that. And that's all I got. I got more leaves coming down in the yard than anything, and so I've been focusing on leaf removal, trying to figure out, not leaf trading cards or anything. Yeah, we like to remove some of the Leafs products there because there's no logos on sort of things. All this stuff weighs on me, When I go through my desk here and find gobs and gobs of cards, I already have Rance Mulliniks here, but do I save that for an autograph request? Do I send any other cards here? Do I replace my long-standing 1984 Topps and put this in the binder in place of it, or do I just recycle it? Because I don't know anybody who would really want that. I've just basically had to take the assignment that these are my cards, and I can do whatever I want with them without anybody having to criticize me in the comment section. Oh, you should have saved that. Oh, you should have gifted that off to a care package. Oh, that's going to cost you a fortune because you're shipping off to Canada. These are all things that I take into consideration. I don't have to worry about that. But again, I would say if I was hobby president or wanted to fix things, the really only thing that I can really say is that we need to focus on more of what the everyday collector can do or afford. I have almost zero opportunity to buy sports cards around here. All the stores that we've had here, we've had a big theft problem. They're behind the counter, or they just stop selling cards altogether. Dick's Sporting Goods does not sell cards. Dollar Tree does not sell cards. Dollar General almost is always out of cards. Big Lots closed. Mart here sells cards, but you have to kind of get somebody to the electronics counter. And there's numerous other reasons why I cannot get cards here at any store. Target does not have any cards on the shelves. Walmart does not have any cards on the shelves, and they always have a mile long in their little information or a returns booth, and I don't ever want to go there and bother them and say, where are the cards? I asked employees and they said, and Walgreens did not even want to show me the cards. The case was locked because somebody had Jimmy rigged it to where they could figure out how to open it and no one else. All to get the stupid, blasters that they had that had the 2 packs in it and the 50 garbage cards that you throw away at the end of the afternoon. And that's pretty much it. But one of the things I do want to focus on, and maybe procuring binders. How do you go about doing this? This is going to be my Upper Deck 20th anniversary, and I only have technically a page of them. I actually have 2 or 3 pages of cards, but they just have not gotten sorted to put it into this binder here. I want to focus on the smaller binders because these huge binders have just gotten way out of control, and I just don't have room for them, and they've just gotten super, super massive, so I have to figure out. And I need people to come together and figure out what do you do with sports cards once they are deemed useless, have no value. Where do you give them off? How do you repurpose them, throw them away, that sort of thing. And that's pretty much today's video, and thank you for watching.